So for 6 months now, I've been doing Amazon Flex as a side hustle alongside my full-time job. And in this video, I'm gonna go through exactly how much I've earned in that time. I'm gonna be going through how much I've earned after tax, how many miles I've done, and how many hours I've done in order to then work out an hourly rate across the entire 6 months. So from the 18th of October to now, I have done 44 shifts, and that is a total mileage on my car of 2,285 miles. Now, I always calculate from when I leave the house until when I come back. I'm not sure if that's the right way to do it, but that is what I calculate. That then gives me an average mileage of 51.93 miles per shift. Depending on how economical your car is, like I've got like a 1 litre Astra, so it's quite economical, I would say. I've worked out that 52 miles is about 8 or 9 quid, which means I then take that off what I take home and I put it into a separate account to then pay off my credit card that I use to buy petrol. So the lowest money I've earned off one block was actually my first ever one on the 18th of October, which was £46.50. Now, I was a little bit naive when I was researching like Amazon Flex. I thought that people would jump on shifts straight away, but the more I've done it over the last 6 months, I've come to realize that people wait until like 4 or 5 p.m. until the surge rates come in, where the depot's really struggling to get drivers to do the blocks, so they up the prices, and then obviously then people accept. So £46.50 I can say is the lowest I've ever done, and the highest I've ever done was actually around Christmas time, and I earned £98 off a 3.5 hour block. Now, I got that I think it was like 20 minutes before the block started. I actually got an £80.50 one the other day. Last week I got that £80.50, and I only drove 48 miles on that one. So yeah, that was a really, really good shift. That was 3.5 hours as well, but that was 5 minutes before the shift started. But it's okay for me because I live pretty much next to the depot. So I always go for 3 or 3.5 hour blocks, and I put a threshold of when I accept blocks and what rate that I want that makes going out worth it. So for 3.5 hour blocks, my cutoff is about £65, and for 3 hour blocks, now it used to be £55.50, but I've come to realise that most 3.5 hour blocks, you can pretty much get them done in 3 hours anyway. So if a 3 hour block does come up, you're getting that done in like 2.5 hours, but you are still driving the same distance away and you're still doing similar mileage. It used to be £55.50, but now my threshold is about £60, £61, £62 for 3 hour blocks as well. So I aim to get between I aim to get £60 plus for any of the blocks I do. So the total amount of hours I've actually worked over those 44 shifts has been 135.5 hours. So the mileage expense for those 44 shifts is £409.87. So when I first researched Amazon Flex and I was sort of getting to grips with, how does the tax work, how does the mileage work, how does the petrol work, and all those things, I thought that you would just deduct your mileage and then you would then get taxed on the rest of what you've earned. However, I've found out that you can actually claim 45p per mile for the first 10,000 miles. Now, when I come to do my tax return in a few weeks' time, because I've logged every single mile that I've done on a spreadsheet, I'm going to take that then to my accountant and work out 45p a mile. That 45p a mile then will then get put through as an expense, and I won't get taxed on that 45p per mile. So in turn then, I will be paying less tax overall on what I've earned. Obviously, don't take that advice as gospel. Please speak to a financial advisor or an accountant. Don't take my word for it. I'm just relaying what I've read and what I've been told personally. So the total amount of money that I've earned doing Amazon Flex, that's including mileage and before tax, is £2,683. Now, if you take off the mileage expense, I have earned £2,273.13, and if you then take off the tax from that, I have earned take home, so this is money that I've earned and it's in my personal bank account, £1,818.50 over the 44 shifts and 135.5 hours. That means my take home hourly rate, so that's after tax and that's after mileage expense, this is what I've actually taken home, is £13.42 per hour, which in the grand scheme of things, when you take into account that is after tax and that's after expenses, that is not too bad. So I aim to do 3 to 4 shifts a week, and I'm earning between 160 to 250 pounds, depending on what the rates are that week. And I've got to be honest, that that money then funds holidays, it funds all sorts of different things, and it's just such a nice income to have alongside your full-time job. Like, the job is ridiculously easy to do. Like, literally you scan the parcel, put it in your car, drive to the location, scan the parcel again, hand it to the customer, swipe to finish, and you're on to the next stop. And obviously, if you're struggling for money, or if you want to earn a bit more money, then there's nothing stopping you from taking on a few more shifts or getting some shifts during the day if you've got a day off, for example. Like, it's a really, really good, flexible way of earning money, and I highly recommend it to anyone. I found as well that obviously Christmas time and Amazon Prime Day and Black Friday are the days where there's ridiculously high rates. But I've also found that during Ramadan, there has been quite high rates. So before Ramadan started, there was quite low rates, but now it started, there's been quite high rates, because iftar is around the time when the blocks starting. So in the UK, iftar's around 6:20 at the moment. So that's around about when the blocks are starting, like quarter to 6, 6 o'clock, 6:15, 6:30. And a lot of drivers are obviously observing Ramadan. So yeah, there's not enough people to do the blocks, and there's less competition. So obviously the rates are going up. I am thinking as well of doing some full shift videos of me walking around delivering parcels and just talking about the problems that I overcome and the things that you have to do, a little GoPro on my chest, something like that. So if you're interested in seeing that, then click the subscribe button, let me know in the comments if you want to see that, and subscribe to the channel anyway. I do running videos, I do fitness stuff, and I do a lot more than just Amazon Flex. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and catch you in the next one.